Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Next Step Show. And this is Pavel Stepanov with the Next Step podcast. So, before we start, I wanted to tell you that this Next Step Show is brought to you, this episode is brought to you by VirtueDesk. VirtueDesk is a remote virtual assistant who can help your hiring all your administrative, marketing, and prospecting needs. No need to hire people and vet them, and no need to go through the interview process and resumes. VirtueDesk can do it for you. Well, today we're talking about a big announcement that came over the internet this week from Amazon. Amazon is the biggest employer in the Puget Sound area, and specifically in Seattle area. And looks like, considering the Puget Sound Business Journal article by Mark Stiles, Amazon has said it's done growing in Seattle, and now 8 floors of the company's space are available for lease in a building on Westlake Avenue. Let me translate it for you folks. So Amazon decided to slowly but surely move their location elsewhere, their headquarters. Where are they going to go? Well, it looks like they also announced simultaneously this week. It was an announcement that Amazon will be adding over 25,000 jobs in Bellevue, right across the lake from Seattle, right across the lake from Lake Washington. Okay, so it's not a long commute. It's not a very long distance move. So what's going on? Why Amazon is relocating most of its headquarters from Seattle area, Seattle South Lake Union area, to downtown Bellevue, and it looks like uh, Seattle City Council has been on a long hunt to start taxing Amazon. So we're not going to be talking about whether this taxing is a good thing or a bad thing. Let the politicians figure it out. However, it looks like Jeff Bezos didn't like this idea that there's going to be a head tax on his employees, that any high-earning employee will be separately taxed, and the company would be paying a lot of money to the city of Seattle. So Jeff Bezos decided to move the company. And you would think that he may try to move the company elsewhere where it's more business friendly environment. However, he decided to move to just across the lake to the city of Bellevue, same county, same state. Why? It looks like the reason why, and it's my speculation why, because of a talent. It's very tiresome to hire new talent in places and relocate talent. So better move the company physically to where the talent is, which is Bellevue, Redmond, Kirkland area, because of a high tech area. The high tech corridor that we have. So what does this mean for both from the business perspective, for real estate perspective, and for overall economy in both cities, Seattle and Bellevue? And I think that it means that city of Seattle will lose its one of the biggest employer, will lose the revenue. Okay, so there's going to be less money coming into the city Also, the small businesses that were serving the area, the nearby area, that were already shattered by COVID lockdown, will probably have to close down permanently. Okay, for example, if you're running a cafe or a restaurant or some sort of a food delivery service in city of Seattle, and one of your biggest customers is Amazon employees, you are delivering food or any kind of other services, dog grooming, anything you want basically to serve that public, all those businesses would be forced to relocate as well. So not only city of Seattle is losing one of its biggest employers, Amazon, but it's also losing other companies that's providing jobs to local people. Okay, so the economy is not really looking that great in that area in the city of Seattle. Okay, but considering that the move is not going to be like a long distance move, it's going to be just right across the lake, and considering that those companies can basically service east side, uh, that actually gives a hope that some companies will remain in business, will just take their services across the lake, just follow the Amazon. Okay, so does Amazon completely shut down their operations in Seattle? It doesn't look that. it doesn't look that way. There's looks like there's still going to remain some people here. There's still going to be some operations. So, uh, we'll still see some activity. However, what does it mean for Bellevue? Well, Bellevue is very very tax savvy town, and and it's got a lot of talent, and property prices are actually going through the roof here. If you're looking for a house in the Bellevue area, the minimum home price is about $1 million minimum. You cannot really even approach anything with less than $1 million. So I anticipate, I mean, that's my personal opinion, that within the next 2 to 3 years, prices will probably increase by 45-50% on real estate in Bellevue area because of the Amazon, because of other businesses that are moving into the area. And that's going to be, something to consider, that whenever you invest on the east side, consider that. However, we understand that not everybody is going to be able to afford to live in Bellevue. So those people will be buying properties in nearby communities of Renton, Bothell. Maybe they go down as far south as Kent. But the bottom line is that the city, the population will be mostly shifting from Seattle downtown area, from Seattle to more of the east side and north and south, because again, people are going to be priced out. So if you own property in Bellevue, that's actually a good thing. If you are thinking of buying in Bellevue, you may not be in such a good position, because right now you'll be paying not just premium, you're going to be paying on top of premium. Okay, but question is remains, why Amazon did not move their headquarters to another state? Well, if you remember, I think couple of years ago, there was a talk that Amazon's going to move their headquarters to New York, and it was, or Virginia, or somewhere in East Coast, and there was a big hype about it, until they suddenly, Bezos decided to pull the plug on this project. He said, no, we're not going to go. All right. And apparently they didn't like the liberal policies there. They didn't like the local government you know rubbing their hands and saying, okay, we're going to tax this right now. So um, obviously, they didn't like the business climate in the area, so that's why they decided not to move. And they decided to stay in Seattle. Seattle seemed very nice, safe haven for Amazon, because of a talent, because of the global location. That's a great quick gateway to Asia. So also, as far as recruiting the talent, is just amazing place here, because we have a lot of tech companies here. We have Microsoft, we have Google, we have plenty of other tech companies, and plenty of talent coming in here countries from other countries. So that was seemed like a very nice location. However, again, city of Seattle decided not to welcome Amazon anymore here. And the head tax, as they call it, head tax actually killed it. So if you are a business owner in Seattle, what do you do? And again, this is my opinion. It's not something to be, taken as a claim, but I think you need to start shifting. You need to be completely aware of what's going on, and you need to adjust your business to the realities of the world. If you think you're going to have stability, and if you're running your own business, well, guess what, there's no such thing as stability in running your own business. Running your own business is you know let's face it, you wake up unemployed every morning. Okay, so if you are, let's say, a business owner, and you're running a business, and one of the biggest customers moves, what do? Well, you obviously have to follow the customer, I think, right? You have to just set up the shop somewhere else, or you have to hire people somewhere else. So a lot of strategic moves goes there. So let's talk about small business owners who are running their companies like a solo entrepreneurs, I call them. That's what people, a lot of people are solo entrepreneurs. Say you're a real estate agent, or you're a mortgage broker, or any kind of entrepreneur, and change is coming to the horizon. And that's why you guys have to kind of realize, okay, the change is coming. What do I do? Okay. Well, first, do not panic. You don't need to panic. I need to sit down and calculate um, you know, all your options, evaluate your options, and make a strategic decision what you're gonna do. Panicking is something that, as they say, panics sink the ships. So do not panic. Just evaluate and think ahead. Think ahead of what's gonna be happening. Okay, if you see that, I mean, and that's again one of those things where you are, let's say, evaluating. And I have some friends who've been saying for years that Amazon's going to leave Seattle. Okay, Amazon's going to leave Seattle. They're going to come to Bellevue. I have friends who've been saying this, and they know who they are. So, um, why before even Amazon announced it? So why do these people know about it, that it's happening? Well, the reason they know, because about why that it's happening, they look at the uh, climate, the business climate. They look at the tendencies. They look at the local politics. They look at the local policies and legislation, and they look at everything that's been going on, and kind of make an educated guess that, hey, listen, it looks like Amazon's gonna be relocating somewhere. So I have a good friend of mine who's a real estate investor. Okay, and he owns a lot of properties. So what does he do? He never bought a property in Seattle. And I keep asking him, why you don't want to buy a property in Seattle? And instead, he actually invests and buys property on the east side. And he says, I am not buying in Seattle for several reasons. One of them, Amazon's gonna leave. And that was before even was announced. So I'm wondering, what does this guy know that I don't know? Why does he think that Bezos decides to leave? But again, he looked at the overall nature of the business relationship that Amazon had with the city council. He looked at the announcements, or some of the campaign slogans by some of the elected officials, and he basically saw through it that at some point Amazon's gonna be forced to leave the state or the city. At which point, and then again, they could have left the state, but they decided not to leave the state. They're leaving the city, and they're going to not such a far away location just across the lake. Okay, and again, evaluating all those factors is what's important. Looking at those factors and reading through the lines. You need to read between the lines. You need to connect the dots. So for that, don't follow what mainstream media tells you. Don't I mean You have to kind of keep eye on the price, and hand on the pulse, and see what's going on. But do your own research. Develop some critical thinking. And again, the good business people, good entrepreneurs, that's what they do. They predict of what may happen, and they act upon it. Okay, um, as Warren Buffett says, when everybody's greedy, sell. When everybody's scared, buy. That goes about anything. That goes about buying and selling stocks, trading stocks. It goes about buying and selling real estate investment, and also goes about the running a business. Okay, so again, if you look at the business, I mean, I speak with a lot of business people, and I'm not a consultant, by the way, but I speak with a lot of business people, and a lot of them people think, okay, my business is doing great right now, so why I don't need to worry about it. I can actually sell it. So selling a business is a complete separate topic, and usually, uh, people do not sell the businesses if the business is doing very well. Okay, unless they have some exigent circumstance that they need to exit, and they need to be out. Okay, usually people sell the business when things are not working out, or something on the horizon that they know about, but they're not telling you. Okay, so that goes the same way about when you run a business or buy an investment or any kind of thing, and you're relying on one particular, let's say, big employer. Okay, and here we have Amazon. I also have um, customers who bought homes and condos, investment condos in Seattle area, just specifically because of Amazon. Well, it's like you're never guaranteed a view in the city. You also never guaranteed that the same employer is going to remain in the area. Okay, so but again, you have to realize that, and you have to you know you have to basically evaluate all the risks. So to say that, actually, I wanted to say that we have another sponsor, which is Nexus Realty. And if you are a real estate agent in Seattle area, you owe it to yourself to check out Nexus Realty. Nexus Realty is growing tremendously, and many brokers already joined Nexus Realty this month alone because of 100% commission, because of a training, because of a coaching program, and because of the technology that Nexus Realty embraces. Also, it's one of the only it's actually one of the only brokerages in town that is 100% commission brokerage and 100% cloud-based brokerage. So it's a virtual brokerage, so you don't need to have an office. You can work out of your own home, and you can basically be independent and work at the comfort of your own home. So this is Nexus Realty. They're one of our sponsors for this podcast. And again, if you actually wanted to sponsor the podcast, if you want to be on podcast, you need to contact one of our production team, or just send me a DM and I'll be happy to speak with you about it. Okay, but let's get back to running a business in Seattle. Well, what I think what's going to happen right now, since the pandemic kind of leveled the field for everybody and small businesses were going to be hurt the most, Amazon also, I think they could try to justify their move because of the pandemic, and because they need to downsize, or they need to basically change the location, because a lot of people working from home right now. So how soon that how long that's gonna go, nobody really knows. Well, they have some their ideas, but nobody knows. So a lot of ways that they're justifying this, but in reality, be ready for any kind of change, any kind of move. And frankly, I kind of liked the pandemic spectrum of it, because the pandemic allows you to quickly reassess your uh, business structure, quickly reassess your business functions, and to adjust and pivot. We've talked about it before on this podcast, that adjusting your business and pivoting are very crucial skills that any solopreneur actually should have and possess. And don't be ever in a comfort zone, because again, comfort zone, that's in your head, okay, and it's a very scary place to be. So to say this all, wanted to say thank you everybody who contributed to our podcast, who contributed with content. Next podcast, we're gonna feature one of my good friends, David Mordikov. He's a personal injury attorney living in Seattle, and he's going to discuss how it is to live in Seattle and to run a business in Seattle, specifically in Capitol Hill, where it used to be Chat Zone. So stay tuned for the next episode of the Next Step Show. It's going to be next week, and there's going to be more announcement about it. Meanwhile, if you feel like if you like this podcast, if you want to support the podcast, just you don't have to pay us. You can just simply subscribe. You can share it, and you can give me comments, even on Facebook or YouTube. Please send comments. Okay, at least I know you're there. Okay, at least I know I'm not talking just to an empty camera. Okay, I see you guys, and I'd like to communicate with you. All right, I would like some two-way kind of a communication with it with people. To say this all, I'm gonna wrap it up, since I don't want to bore you too much. But again, Amazon's leaving Seattle. This is just another chapter in the life of the region's economy, and we'll see what is going to happen. All right. As always, guys, subscribe, share, and comment on our podcast. And I want to wish everybody a good weekend. And there's going to be more content for us coming next week.